Yeah, I'm just happy that I could stay disciplined in there. You know, try dragging me into a fight in there, and I stayed disciplined. And for me, that was the main thing that was working on all camp, was staying disciplined. Can I stay disciplined? And for me, I did.
I told him we done something that no one's ever done before, and no one's ever going to do again. And yeah, he should be proud.
Just a complete drubbing, wasn't it? I mean, it was a masterclass performance. I know it wasn't as exciting as the first fight, but that's what he had to do. He just had to stay switched on, be composed, and just, I said, he's much better than Chris Eubank. I mean, the problem was giving away 2 weight classes. And Eubank, I said going into this fight, I think this will be Eubank's last fight, and I truly believe that. I think that last fight would have taken so much out of him. He's a very brave man, and he deserves a lot of credit, but he was just beaten by the much better boxer tonight. I mean, I don't think Frampton gave him a round. I think I gave him 1 round, and obviously there was 10 seconds left of the fight. He would have stopped him. So massive win for Conor Benn. You know, move back down to 147 now and become world champion there.
It was there for Conor to win it. He won it. Dropped him in the last round. You know, I kept on saying, Chris. And then I saw them, and I said, Conor's got it.
Yeah. What? Chris didn't really throw much tonight. What happened to him?
I knew that Conor had it. It was real.
Yeah.
Hold on to him.
What do you think's next for Chris?
He can enjoy his twins. And,
should he retire? Should he retire, Derek?
No.
Everything. The way Chris boxed there just showed you how hard making the weight was for him last time. The older he is, the way I can get you down to 2 stone. You might not be able to tie your shoelaces, but I can get you down. So even though he got down to it, you saw the effects of it there. It looked like a man walking in slow motion in quicksand. Conor was all over him. Well deserved. To the end, Chris had nothing to give. And that, you remember the last fight, Chris had nothing left to give. Conor did. And the way Conor boxed, he did. He never left him alone. Ripped his heart out. He did the right thing.
Really happy. And thank God it's over. Listen, like I said in the press conference Thursday, Conor had to make adjustments when he fought Chris in the return. And I feel like he made the adjustments. He stuck to the game plan. His feet was good tonight. His boxing ability was good tonight. You know, and he was fortunate for Chris that bell win in the last round, because it was virtually over then, but he won so clearly, and he boxed smart, didn't lose his head and swing punches all over the place, and I'm really proud of him.
Before that, Max Kellerman mentioned that the fight seemed like it might result in a draw, even placing 15-to-1 odds on that possibility. And he also noted that the rivalry appeared to be the beginning of a trilogy, suggesting a third matchup could take place down the line.
The rematch has a drawish kind of feel.
Yeah.
I'm taking 15-to-1 odds on a draw.
Wow. So you think it's going to be a fight 3?
I think there'll be a third fight. Maybe not immediately, but I think eventually there will be. This has the feel to me of a trilogy.
Yes, yes, we need to see a trilogy.
By the way, you know what happened in the rematch of their fathers? Okay,
draw. Yeah. What are you thinking outside the box?
Adelato explained that even though Carl Froch questioned the importance of a rematch, he recognized why it was necessary, pointing out that the financial stakes were high and the manner in which the first fight concluded made a second encounter inevitable. Interview 2, Simon Jordan mentioned that he wasn't interested in the Benn versus Eubank Jr. rematch, joking that he had witnessed more exciting fights in a local pub, and he added that the unfinished business angle seemed like a money-driven move orchestrated by promoters, attempting to compensate for what they missed the first time.
Carl Froch questions the value of Chris Eubank, Conor Benn too. Sometimes the value is just what these guys are going to make. And I think we're all hearing the numbers are crazy. So that's the value in it. Look, in an ideal world, it would have been one and done. In an ideal world. But the way that fight ended and the way it delivered, you're going to run that back. Like, how can you not run that back? Would it have been nice if there was one in between? And yeah, but then it would have maybe been too late. So I understand why they've run it back. And look, ultimately, we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out November 15th, right? It might just be a fight of the year candidate again.
Sam Jones commended Chris Eubank Jr. as one of boxing's most skilled self-promoters, noting that he knew how to create drama and keep fans engaged, even making outrageous claims like Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith blocking an ambulance.
In any way getting interested in it this time?
No. I've seen just as good a fights in Witherspoons. I think there's better things to be doing than watching Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank. I mean, the terminology unfinished business is the only thing that's unfinished about it. They didn't manage to rinse enough money out of people the first time round.
But if Benn wins this time around, you know what's happening. There we are for the trilogy.
You can choreograph another one so that we can all sit there and get rinsed some more money out of it.
That's boxing.
I don't value it as a fight. I don't value the circus around it. I don't buy into the nostalgia crap. I don't. Chris Eubank has turned up. Well, I wasn't surprised he turned up. I wonder if he got paid to turn up. That would put a damper on everyone's nostalgia, wouldn't it?
Simon has never set a foot inside Wetherspoons, ever,
yes, I have.
says Mark. They're not having you in Wetherspoons.
I looked through the window and I thought, oh, not for me.
Liam Smith noted that Conor Benn had become a major draw and a lucrative opportunity for opponents even without a world title, and he leaned slightly toward Benn in the rematch. Observing that Eubank Jr. was approaching the end of his career and no longer possessed the sharpness required to fully take advantage of Benn's mistakes.
Chris is the master of the narrative. Chris Eubank Jr. is going to be very missed when he leaves boxing. Whether he's talking bollocks or whatever he's saying, he sells the fight and he makes people engaged with what he's saying. And like whether he's saying Eddie's blocking ambulances like this in front of the ambulance, he's selling the fight. I mean, I think he went a bit too far there to accuse Frank and Eddie and Matchroom to do that. But look, what happened wasn't good. We saw the video, it wasn't good, and that shouldn't happen in any case because that can be, let's say, life-threatening. It can be. So let's hope that doesn't happen ever again. But look, let's look forward to a great fight between two warriors.
Definitely. If I could push you for a prediction.
Conor, straight away. I'll always back Conor. I believe Conor will win the fight inside the distance. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Conor. He's going in there. There's again the narrative that Eubank's not going to be at his best because of the weight. Eubank's made 160 his whole career. He's just not allowed to rehydrate to cruiserweight because he's fighting a welterweight. Like Conor's really a 140. So really, he's coming up to... You look at the size of Conor. Conor's not a big guy. He is not a big guy. He's fighting a massive Chris Eubank. So really, the props needs to go to Conor for going up all that weight to give the fans that night of entertainment. It's Conor that... Conor's putting himself at big risk. He's a much smaller man in there. You only got... I'm not talking bollocks. Put them side by side. You see Chris Eubank Jr. is much bigger than him. There's weight categories for a reason, but Conor showed in that last fight unbelievable grit and balls to stick in there, even to the end. Because you looked at the last round, he boxed pure instinct. But listen, they're two great fighters. Both got good chins, both tough. you're gonna see.
Frank Smith remarked that chaos during fight week was almost inevitable whenever Eubank Jr. was involved, jokingly dubbing him the chief victim officer since he always seemed to discover something to complain about.
See how Conor Benn's career has gone, because he's a huge name, a huge draw, and a huge money fight now for anyone fighting him. Yet he hasn't won a British title. He hasn't fought or beat anyone of note.
Your thoughts on this Eubank Benn story?
The rematch, I think Conor Benn, I probably fancy Conor a little bit more because of what I think on Chris Eubank Jr. I think he's only 1 or 2 fights away from being done. We're going to get along the lines of the same fights as last time, whether it's as good and as competitive as last time. I think we're going to get the same type fight.
Does Conor have the technical ability to be able to make the impact on Chris Eubank?
I don't think Chris Eubank is as technically good and technically correct to counter Conor Benn's mistakes and exploit Conor Benn's mistakes.
Tim Bradley stated that Benn clearly had the power to stop Eubank Jr., but he cautioned that his success would rely on remaining composed, making smart decisions, and consistently following the game plan he entered the fight with.
Eubank Jr., of course, there's going to be fight week drama. You know, of course, there's going to be drama. He's the king of drama. He's the chief victim officer, I'll call him.
Chief victim officer.
No, but he's a victim, isn't he? Everyone's done him dirty in life, you know. And it's at some point in life you have to look at yourself rather than blame everyone else. You know, Chris is very good at blaming everyone else. Oh, this promoter, that promoter, this, that, the other. Like, well, sometimes look in the mirror, because we've had great relationships with fighters for 15 years. We've promoted the biggest British name and one of the biggest global names of the sport since his debut all the way through, you know. Like, sometimes you have to go, actually, is it me? Am I the problem? He's been through about 7 different promoters and seems to have fallen out with every one of them. So when I say chief victim officer, I mean everything is always, oh, poor me. Fight week, he loves drama. That's what he does. But he's great at it. It's part of the game, isn't it? He's a showman. So it's what it is. So
Conor Benn can knock him out. Conor Benn can knock him out in the rematch. Oh yeah. Couple things he got to do though. You know, boxing 1-on-1, man, when you're fighting a taller guy, you never want to step back in straight lines. You want to exit the sides. He stepped back in straight lines. He allowed Eubank to extend with those long arms, so he's getting caught on the end of his shots a lot of the times. Another thing, early on, got too reckless. You got to be more reserved, my man. Act like you've been there before. You got to control those emotions. All right, a lot of swinging, a lot of wild swinging, a lot of energy wasted early that you could have had on the back end and you could have finished stronger. But you didn't. You wasted a lot of energy swinging that air. Mad, intense. Hey, controlled aggression. That's what it got to be, Conor Benn. Controlled. Another thing. Straight punches. Straighten your shots out, man. You had a lot of success when you was letting those punches just fly right from the chin. 1-2, right down the middle. Yeah. You was landing that right hand. See, there's a big mistake that a taller guy makes, like Eubank Jr. And what he does is he throws a jab from mid-range. That's a big no-no. You can't be doing that. He throws a jab from mid-range. Even when he got the range and the height and the reach, he's still stepping in, closing the gap. And that's the perfect opportunity for Conor Benn to load up with a big right hand. He did it occasionally. He caught him with it. Yes. You know, he caught him with it. However, a lot of wide shots over the top.